This video is about layers. Layers. I know I'm doing a lot of videos in this jacket, guys. Sometimes when I record, I just have like one day or one morning to record everything. That may be why sometimes also you hear me talking lower than other times, because I'm trying to remain quiet while my children are still sleeping. So, layers. Let's discuss this. What is this about? Some people either have a prodigal returning or people in their lives that the Father is calling into relationship with them. Rather that be a child, a spouse, a family member, a friend, a stranger, whatever. Sometimes, as Yah's children, we have this tendency to overwhelm and intimidate people that are either coming into a new relationship with the Father or coming back into a relationship with the Father. Sometimes, especially as spouses, and I know a lot of women fall into this a lot too. We want to be in control of the process. We may start to come into agreement with a Jezebel spirit that wants to overpower, control, overwhelm. And I believe Holy Spirit is confirming to me to come on here and speak to some people about this. For whoever this may be for, back off. Back off. Stop intimidating. Seek Father, seek the Holy Spirit. Let order be established. Let order be established and let the Holy Spirit do the convicting. Just back off. Pray more than you speak. Pray more than you do. Because when you pray, you'll know what to speak and what to do. When to do, how to do. And simply learn to kind of back off. Take your hands off of it. The reason being is because a father has to establish his own relationship with them through Yeshua. Or your relationship with Yah cannot be the same as somebody else's relationship with Yah. No matter how similar it may look, they have to be able to do it on their own. They have to be able to know his voice for themselves. And if we are always in the mix, always in the way, always giving our suggestion, giving our advice, sharing our Bible verses, sharing what the Father is showing us, it will not be established, especially in the order of marriage. If you are a person that wants and has desired for your husband to lead, there is no way your husband is ever going to learn how to lead if you're always in the way. And this is for anybody. This is not just for husbands. This is for brothers and sisters in the faith. This is for your children even that are walking into and stepping into new phases of their lives. If we are always hovering, if we are always trying to be the covering, if we are always trying to do the thing and say the thing, then we don't allow room for Yah to work. It's so easy to want to control, especially as wives, as mothers. But woman of his word, it is not your job to control the narrative. It is not your job to manipulate in the background. It is not your job to always say the things and do the things. It is not your job to always take the lead. It's not. And if you've been praying for certain things, but you're doing opposite of what you've prayed for, that is not ever going to work. So in the sense of marriage, if you've been praying for somebody to finally step into their spiritual role, whether that be a husband or a wife, but you are still doing the role of that person, they're not going to feel led to step into that role. They're going to feel intimidated. They're going to feel incapable. They're going to feel not confident, or they're just going to say, well, they do it better, so why do I have to? I'll just keep leaving it to them. And I'm talking about with everything. So seek the Holy Spirit. I'm talking about with prayer, with reading the word, understanding the word, household roles and duties, big decisions, small decisions. What has the Father been convicting you to step aside from, so that said person can step into? If you're always occupying this space, if you're always occupying the role, then whoever needs to actually step into it, whoever actually belongs in that role, won't be able to. They won't be able to. This can be any type of relationship. So I'm bringing up like marital relationships because that's just the easiest to compare it to, but this could be for any relationship. Literally a mother and child, a father and child, a friend, a brother and sister in the faith, whatever relationship it is. If you are constantly occupying the space that you've been praying for them to step into, to walk into, to step into a role that you know the Father desires for them, but you're still there, there's not going to be room. Like, get up out of there. That's not your spot no more. Especially if you've been desiring order in your household. Let the Father establish the order. You were never meant to establish the order. When you get in line with His order, then you can establish order. Because you are in order with His order. I hope that makes sense. But ultimately, people want things for people. They want the best for people. But understand that that intimidation is a real thing. There are many people that they don't come into truth. They don't come into a relationship with the Father, because there are people that kind of overpower. And we can all operate in this at some point or another, but we can kind of overpower and overwhelm and intimidate someone, and then it's just like, I'd rather not. Let the Father do the convicting. Let the Holy Spirit be the one who draws them near. It's okay to speak the things, to say the things when it's the proper time, but when you're just going about and you're not even realizing that it's actually working the opposite of what you're trying to achieve through the Holy Spirit. Prayer works wonders. Prayer works best. Pray, and don't stop praying do not cease praying. But just understand that some of these people, just like Lazarus, they're being resurrected, but it comes in layers, because Yeshua, even after He said Lazarus come out, He then said unwrap him from those grave clothes, or in whatever version you read it in. But those clothes have to be unwrapped from him. Those clothes of death, like actual death and the grave, had to be unwrapped from him, unbinded. And that takes time. That unwrapping takes time. When we get to a certain place and level with Yah, we look at others and we're like, my gosh, this is taking long. Why is this taking so long? Why are people not seeing it? Why are they not seeing it? What we don't realize is all of the unwrapping that had to happen in our lives, all of the layers of filthiness that had to be pulled off of us, all of the digging that had to be done to finally find the gem lying beneath the dirt. Stop intimidating. Do not rush somebody else's. Go ahead, sit down there, baby. I'll be right there with you. I'm almost done. Stop intimidating. Do not rush somebody else's process. And do not try to take things into your own hands, thinking that you're doing the best by being all up in their face with the things that you know and the things that you learned and all of these things. Ask the Holy Spirit, because there's a time for everything. You have to allow people to truly find Him for themselves, so that they can establish that relationship for themselves. Not your relationship attached to them, but simply their relationship with the Father. It's going to be very different. And we think that our relationship with the Father needs to look like everybody else's relationship with the Father, or how it was established, or how it came about. And we are completely mistaken. And that is very religious of people to think that way. When the Father calls people out of so many different places, so many different walks of life, so many different pits and troubles, and you have no idea what that looks like unless you've walked in that person's shoes. So stop intimidating people in order to make them into your version, or make their process into your version of what you think it should be. Let the Holy Spirit do the work.